there. Welcome to another episode of hanging out on the internet and doing math and stuff. I don't think that's what we call these, but we will today. Alright, so decimal division with regrouping, or with models regrouping, is what we're going to look at today. So you will know that you're doing well with this concept when you can solve for decimal quotients to the hundredths. You can represent the division of decimal dividends and quotients to the hundredths, and you can use vocabulary such as quotient, dividend, divisor, remainder, tenths, hundredths, and separate. So remember, quotient is the answer to a division problem. Dividend is the number that you are splitting up. The divisor is how many pieces you're splitting it into. A remainder exists when we are dividing decimals. We will not have remainders, but a remainder would exist if we were not dividing in order to find decimals. And then remember, tenths and hundredths are decimal place values, and of course, to separate is to divide. All right, so let's take a look at the first slide. Study the following image. All right, so we have what looks to be one whole, so we can call that one whole. All right, and then over here it looks like we have 10 tenths, and then right here it looks like we have 10 hundredths. So at least with the one whole to the 10 tenths, that's regrouping. It's the same amount, right? So one whole is equal to 10 tenths. If we're talking about money, this would be like $1. 10 tenths would be the same thing. And just be like if we had 10 dimes versus if we had $1 bill. And then finally, it looks like, let me use a different color. On this part, they took 1/10 and turned it into 10 hundredths. So the first jump, they took one whole and turned it into 10 tenths. And then they took 1/10 and turned it into 10 hundredths. But remember, if we were going to take one whole and turn it into hundredths, it would be 100 hundredths. So 10 times as much as this. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide. All right, so it says, it says 3 and 21 hundredths. 3 and 21 hundredths divided into three groups. So 3 and 21 hundredths is our dividend, and 3 is our divisor. We're splitting the number 3 and 21 hundredths into three groups. So we'll go ahead and use long division or sonic division. Remember, divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. Divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. Same steps this time for dividing decimals. And also remember, we're just going to pretend like the decimal point is not there until the end. So pretend like this is 321 divided into three groups. So let's go ahead and start by doing the division step. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 times 1, multiplication step, is 3. And then subtraction step, 3 minus 3 is 0. I'm going to bring down the 2. That was a little sloppy. Bring down the 2, and the arrow points at the 2. So 3 goes into 2 0 times. 3 times 0 is 0. 2 minus 0 is our subtraction step. That gives us 2. And then we're going to bring down the 1. Remember, when you draw that arrow, just draw it to the line. That way you can see the whole next number. All right. Finally, 3 goes into 21 7 times. 3 times 7 is 21. We subtract and we get 0. And then we bring the decimal point up. Come back in the next video.